Hello, I'm Kirk Ensley, and I'm the guy with the element with two tailgates. I'm here to show you why I did it, and how I did it, and why it works for me, even though it may not work for you. We'll start with the interior here. Notice there's lots of free space, even with it in camping set up. The air conditioner is running right now, as much as all of these things are. Extra house battery, Delta 2 charged by the solar, and a set power compressor refrigerator. Despite all of this stuff in here, the bed laid down and ready for sleeping, and the air conditioner running, it is very quiet in here and also very spacious. If we brought the Wave 2 in here with us, it would be quite loud and it takes up a lot of space. And normally that's not a huge deal, but I really want it here for sleeping. You can run it during the day, try to fight the sun, but with only 300 watts of cooling power, you're never going to beat the sun to death. And so this is really just here to run at night. It'll keep things cool and dry in here, and dry is really the major problem. I very often shower, so I'll have a towel hanging up somewhere. I very often ride motorcycles through water, so that will be hanging up somewhere, and it all needs to dry overnight. Otherwise it's going to be wet in the morning when I wake up, and that's not very nice. So by having the air conditioner run overnight, it will pump cool or hot, depending on how the weather speaks to us, but more importantly, dry air into here, and dry those things out, while still leaving me lots of extra space for everything. So that's the inside. Let's move outside now, and I'll show you more of that. So now that I'm behind the camera, I can show you how Ingress and egress works with this setup. You could, as always, try to use the doors, but due to the split door design, you know how inconvenient that can be. So by having the setup like this, and having the second tailgate out there waiting for me, getting out is much easier. You just come to the back, push the button, and now you've got this nice, wide, flat surface to help you get out. So you go 1 foot, 2 foot, and then you're down on the ground, and it's nice and easy. And we can move on to talking about, the setup itself. So let's talk briefly about why I didn't do the alternate setups that some people suggested. Yes, you can use the rear window. Yes, you can use the front window. And I did think about that, and I do have the rain guards and everything. The problem is really just that the air conditioner has to go somewhere. And if I put it on these windows here, I either need to remove the passenger seat or make a platform for it, or sit the air conditioner outside here next to the element and then find a way to duct it in. And those all can work depending on your circumstances, but this is Florida and very often it rains at night when I camp. So I wanted the air conditioner somewhere outside but still relatively dry. And yes, I could try to run the ducts through the moonroof, but the EcoFlow requires a lot of moving air. It doesn't like being choked, it doesn't like using reducers or even elbows really. I have thought about getting a second moonroof, shattering the glass out, and then replacing it with fiberglass and putting the ducts in and putting the air conditioner up here, but it's just a lot of complications, and I wasn't able to source a second moonroof on relatively short notice. So for now, that's just out of the question, and the setup works really well. I'm doing this, but first thing to note, as you can see, when it's all closed up, everything looks perfectly normal. There's no hoses sticking out, there's no hole, there's nothing. But when you open it, you'll notice that everything for the air conditioner is right in there. And this is the first part of this. I don't want anything permanent, I don't want anything external, and I don't want it to take up a whole lot of space. So let's just really quickly walk through the setup of this. Wood just so it's off the ground a tiny bit. Pull out the entire AC unit. Put it on the ground. That's step one. Step two is we pull out the extra tailgate. And if you'd like to come up here, you can see you pull the flap up, get the tailgate cables in, and it just drops in, and you can then shut it. So you have an actual second tailgate that just slots in with no modifications. This is our duct for now plumbing our conditioned air through. That shoves in there. This screws in from the other side. And this is just to direct the air away from my refrigerator, so it's not blowing in that. So we've got that set up, and then the last step is you take your hose, bring it up over, and if it will cooperate, you latch it in. So now I've got a fully plumbed, covered air conditioner, and I can power it on. It runs off battery most of the time, but I have plenty of extra batteries. We'll go into that in a minute. So now it's on cool, and it will start conditioning the air and throwing it into the element. And in the meantime, I can close this. We now have a fully sealed element. It does seem like it would be simple to, instead of drilling the hole in this very odd location, to take it and drill it right through there, and then you could cover it with the plate and you wouldn't need the open tailgate and everything. Or that maybe you could punch it here, and so that way it's not where my cooler and everything is, but there's a reason that it's where it is. It seems simple on the face. For the last thing, why not put the hole over here? It's actually because of the opening mechanism again. If we look in, you can see this rod right here. And that rod is what allows you to open it. It's what's attached to this little lever here. There's a rod that runs there and a rod that runs down here. The problem is on this side, it runs lower down because when you're pulling this, you're rotating an arm like that. And this one gets the upper arm, this one gets the lower arm. So if you cut through right here, you now have to either bend that arm up and try to relocate it, or cut it and just generally mess with it more than I really wanted to. So that's some of the basics why this hole is here. As for punching it, it really wasn't that hard. There's already a small hole here when you get it, and you take all these plastics off. And all I really did was use a cutoff wheel to cut it just a little bit bigger than I needed, and then I hammered these edges till I got the exact fit. And once I had the exact fit, I just used a 5-inch hole saw, and I took this plastic off, cut through that side, and then I put this plastic back on and cut through this side. It really wasn't that hard. You just need to know how to not cut yourself. The arguably harder part was cutting slots for the tailgate cables and also trimming the bottom so that it fit down in there. And I'll be honest, it's not perfect. I'm not replacing these tailgate cables yet because I haven't found a good way to cushion them. It does still leave some gaps in the water tightness where air and everything can get in through these. But I do need some air to be able to move through since I only have the one hose. So yeah, if you have any more questions, ask them down below and I'll do my best to answer them.